All right, good morning. Good morning, good morning. We said 10:05 a.m. Eastern. We're going to give it that minute plus a couple more. So I'm going to apologize in advance. My second monitor is disabled. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to do some troubleshooting, but I have to work on one screen, so I'm a little fumbling around. I think I have it so that I'm sharing what I'm supposed to share, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, I have to keep my chats and my other things on the same screen. It's a little bit of a nightmare for me. Don't worry about me. I'll get through it. So give me just about another minute or two. We'll let people come on in, and then we will get into our action. All right, all right, all right. Let's get going. Good morning. Welcome out to the Market Watch Group midweek check-in. I appreciate everybody's patience with a slightly delayed start. And good morning to you, Perry. Good morning, Stephen. If you just popped in, I found or just had a issue as my second monitor went out. I'm like, oh, my monitor, what am I going to do? How do I work with just one monitor? Oh, I'll figure it out. I'll brave my way through it. First world problems. Am I right? Okay, midweek check-in. I'm Scott. Good to see everybody. Let's talk about it. Here are our disclaimers, as always. Leave them here for just 1 second. You can see my screen, yes, and hear me. Let's see. Yep, I'm unmuted. The screen should be on. The recording should be going. Good. All right, we're good to go. Today's agenda, what are we going to do? First and foremost, let's look at how the market opened. It's interesting. We opened positive, so this is an interesting one, right? Because now we've already seen the opening range when we meet at this time. We've already seen the opening range, and we can see so where are we relative to that? We're going to revisit our posture a little bit here. Just kind of see where are we and where are we relative to what we thought and what we thought we were going to see. We're going to look at our mindset for open trades. If you're in financial trades or industrial trades, you're sitting on profits. You've probably taken some. Maybe you've scaled out twice, but probably at least once, and they're still looking pretty strong. So if you're in a tech trade, it's a lot more iffy. Apple, if you took Apple, you're in it. It's positive, but it's pausing a little. So those are the things that we're looking at. What are the mindsets for any trades we have that are open? We're going to talk about, obviously, are there setups that we're looking for, and then talk about trading plan progress. That's our mission. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the screen sharing has stopped. Let's see what we're going to share next. Let us share. Well, you know what? Let's just go with the screen for now. Let's get rid of this. Okay, you should be seeing my screen. You should have my charts. Give me just a minute here, and let me see where my chats went. Yes, you see it all. Awesome. And boom. I'll tell you what, it's not just that the monitor is not working. Everything else is sluggish too. And it started last night. I should have reset it last night. I knew it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. So futures the markets are up 0.37 on the S&P, 0.31 on the Dow, 0.39 on the NASDAQ, 1.25 on the Magnificent Russell. This is something that we've called out, right? Is the Russell and the strength of the Russell. The implications of it continuing to move into an additional position of strength. Yeah, right? Yeah. Jobs came in soft. Let's take a quick peek at the economic calendar. For the second time, that's the second piece of data. Yesterday, job openings came back. Excuse me. Whew, excuse me. Job openings, we were expecting 9.4 million. We got 8.7 million. Today, ADP, we were expecting 128,000. We got 103,000. So are we concerned? No. I mean, this is all fine, right? We knew eventually that the measures taken to counter inflation would have a negative impact to at least some extent on the labor market. It's interesting because I saw an article from Janet Yellen that came out, and she was chiding economists like, oh, you guys missed it. I'm like, well, the Fed, your committee missed it too, because the FOMC was like, yeah, we may see unemployment go from 3.5 to 5.5. 2% would be losing 3 million jobs. And the whole time, this whole last year, what's happened? Unemployment stayed between 200 and 250,000. New unemployment claims. We've been month after month. Every month has been over 150,000 jobs from Department of Labor. They're like, oh, it's only going to be 150. Boom, it's 350. We're only going to have 8.5 million job openings. Boom, it shoots back up to 9.5 million. Now, this time it went the other way, and the market was like, we're okay with that. It's okay if there's a little bit of that. It's to be expected. We're handling it fine. But even now, as you see, 103,000 is still stability. Jobless claims still expect to be at 220,000. Department of Labor numbers still supposed to come in close to 200. So we'll see. But overall, whatever that weakness is, it's not enough to shake the markets. Okay. What's next? Let's just get to the charts. So our posture. Actually, let's get to our posture. That was the next thing we said we were going to do. Our posture, long-term trend, obviously nothing's changing. So we were at 0.75, 1.25, and a 0.5. That's 2.5 out of 5 points, out of 6 points right there. 2.5 out of 6. That's pretty bullish to start things off with, and very positive. So here, if I pull up Everything is moving so slowly today. SPY. And let's start at the 3-year weekly. You can see there's a bit of a pause. We seem to be pausing as we hit this old high here, same place we hit high here and here. If you're, hopefully you're starting to confirm and validate the notion I mentioned with support and resistance of recency and frequency. I hope you find yourself looking left, finding these touch points to be like, oh yeah, there's a touch there, there's a touch there, there's a touch there. This one was the most recent one. So are we likely to pause here? Could we get through it and move on up? I still think we can. I still think just a pause followed by, and I mean, you can see it paused here, then it went, then it paused here, then it went. So it paused here. These pauses don't mean it's turning over. It's pausing. So can it pause just like it did here? Like if you look, there was resistance, it paused, broke through. So can we pause, break through, and then find ourselves up back at this 480 level come January? Yeah, and this all fits. Nothing's changing here. This looks great. Let's go to the 6-month daily. What's going on? It's Wednesday. Nothing's happened on Monday or Tuesday. We haven't had any volume. And even if we did, those weren't days that would indicate buyers or sellers. It would be a wash day. So our volume isn't going to change. We've now shed all the previous. We're where we should be. In fact, the volume, if we don't start to see new volume, may as the trend score increases, the volume score tends to decrease, and it tends to keep a stable score within the total of these three components. Because remember, we don't need volume once we have trend established. Okay. And let's take a quick peek at the VIX. So as of now, what are we seeing? The last 4 weeks, every time we've been in the midweek check-in, we've talked about how there's a good chance we see it higher. There's a good chance we see it higher. There's a good chance we see it higher. VIX, where are we on the VIX? Yeah, 1.25. We were at this low. We were here. I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't see anything at all. I think there's a very good chance that we just stay the same. Okay. Is that bad? Well, we went up 4 straight weeks. No, that's not bad. We're sitting at a 4.75. Everything looks pretty good right now. So I could be wrong. We maybe would get a point here, a quarter point here or there, or whatever the case may be. So that's where we stand, which means what? Which means I'm still bullish. I'm still looking for bullish trades. Everything that I'm seeing here, I'm still looking for. This all makes sense. This all is in line with what I'm trying to do. Okay. I always forget like my cadence of the things. What do we say we're doing? Opening analysis. We looked at that. Okay, let's start getting into the watch lists. So let's pull back to SPY. If you missed it, yesterday we had our first options session. So it was just kind of, a little bit of a recap. I mentioned the 2 intro to options sessions that exist in the Trading Foundations course, and in the Trading Foundations, I'm going to show you. I want to make sure everybody's using all the resources you have available to you. So here is our content library. And if I scroll down through, well, we're starting to get a hefty amount of content through here. You'll scroll down into the Trading Foundations course is almost complete. I'm just missing that recording that didn't work right. Everything else is good. And if you scroll down here, you'll notice Intro to Options Part 1, Intro to Options Part 2. If you scroll further, here is the new in Options Foundations course. The Intro to Options is in Thursday, tomorrow. Key concepts, terminology, and basic option strategies, buying calls and puts. That's what's coming tomorrow. You'll see how quickly we move. Selling options, option spreads, debit spreads, time spreads. We're gonna throw it at you and expose you to the options and give you an idea of what you need to do to really get into these in more detail. So make sure you join us for that, or at least watch the recordings. All right, there's my plug for the day. SPY, let's just take a look at the opening range. So you can see the opening range was here and we broke it. And then now if you ever study candlesticks, my favorite is Steve Nissen, Nison, Nissen. Actually worked with him a little bit about 10 years ago. Doing coaching for his doing some coaching for him. And he's kind of credited with bringing Japanese candlestick techniques across here to the West. Japanese Candlesticks Explained is his book, but this is what would be a tweezer hold. If I can get my candles or my drawings. So we popped out of it and then right back up into it. And so for me, the original range is still holding. The original opening range is still holding. So yeah, we're not seeing much yet. If you were a day trader, you'd be waiting for something to come your way. Although, some people might have taken the fact that we broke below it, then tested inside of it and are turning. That might be for some day traders, right? That would be their signal. They'd be thinking to the downside here. So we'll see if it moves down, does it stay here? What exactly does day trader mean? Not options? No. You can day trade options, you can day trade futures, you can day trade stocks. Day trading is more your time frames. So a lot of what we do, Press, it's a great question, is swing trading. And within the swing trade, we're looking at, 4 to 7 days. We're looking for stocks to make one swing from support to resistance, or from resistance to support. Our chart time frames, our long-term frames are weekly. The core the charts we look at are daily. If we zoom in a little bit, we might go 4 hour, 2 hour, or at the very, very smallest 1 hour. A day trader, their long-term charts are going to be 1 hours. That's going to set up context. They're going to look at most 15, probably 5-minute charts, maybe 3-minute charts. If you're looking at 5, you might speed up to 3. If you're looking at 3, you might speed up to 1. So when we look at a swing is actually, I would say, 4 to 10 candles. But we're looking at daily charts, so our expectation's 4 to 10 days. If you're looking at a 5-minute chart, you're looking at 4 to 10 candles, with each candle being 5 minutes. So you're thinking your trade's going to last somewhere between 20 and 50 minutes. You're in, you're out, intraday. You're in cash at the end of the day. Those are the characteristics of a day trader. Right? And so a momentum trader might find themselves in the space between day trading and swing trading, where they might be looking for moves that last hours to maybe a day or two, right? Position traders sit in the space between swing traders and trend traders, where they might look for, weeks, whereas trend traders are looking for months. So when you distinguish what type of trading, the first thing you would look at is the time frame. And then from there, the different logistics follow. So great question. I mean, these are the things, right? You hear terms thrown around a lot. And I think sometimes even people who are in the position of describing it use it somewhat ambiguously. So I love that you guys will just throw it out and we'll answer those questions. All right, let's keep going through the watch list. Or let's get to the watch list, I guess. Oh yeah, so there you go. There you go. We tested and as we turned out of it, that was where you would have looked to picked it up if you were day trading. I'm not a day trader, but like I said, if I was, that's that would have been it. And you can see we're now threatening. We now are breaking the bottom of the downside. So we'll take that into account as we decide what kinds of signals we're thinking about and looking to trade. This looks like it could still be in this consolidation range that it's in right now. Okay, let's go through our watch list. I'm kind of having to do a weird finagling. At least I want to put this here and this here. Nope. And let's get back up to the top. Apple. Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love that. So when it opened up here and crossed yesterday's high, was I a little nervous? Yes. Press said sold mine this morning. I took half of that one. Why half and not a third or a quarter? Because I didn't like that it happened after that first big day. I'm not convinced. We may come back. Took a humble profit, Press said. Who else traded Apple? Anybody else? I think it made sense to at least sell something this morning. If you sold all of it, great. I might end up breaking even on the rest, and you'll have a better profit than me, having not sold all of mine this morning. If it comes back, you'll have profit, and I might recover more on the second part. Neither is right or wrong. They're just paths. Either path could lead to a good place. It's about making decisions, though, right? It's about making decisions. So yeah, I sold this morning as well. I was in I wasn't in at the high. I was in probably around 190 and a half, and got about, humble's a good word. Humble's a good word. Better a humble profit than any kind of loss, though, right? Adobe, it's not quite there yet. It never gave the signal, which is why we're glad. So I don't want, when I say I'm willing to anticipate, that doesn't mean all of a sudden I anticipate all my trades. That means I might anticipate one or two. I'm still mostly looking for confirmation, and this didn't give it, and we're glad we're waiting for it. Aflac, turning around. So I took AIG this time, and you can see AIG's holding up better. But am I taking some profits on this one as well that I hadn't yet? Yes. Still gonna let some ride, taking some, letting some ride. AMD kind of looks tradable, other than the fact that it's got like a shooting star candle for the entry day. I'm gonna wait. And I also think that Intel has a little bit better looking setup, but I do want something in the chip sector. Amazon, nothing there for us yet. APH, nothing. Okay, AXP, that's strong. Now what? Now it's starting to pull back. Give us a setup. Love it. Boeing, strong as hell. Nothing there, but wait. Right? We got to be patient. Same with BK. Same with BX. City. Woohoo! That's mine. Do I still have some on? Yes. But not that much. And I'm okay with that, because if you remember me telling you, I took some on Friday, right near the close. I took some, just because it was Friday and it was a great day. Next day, a little more, and then yesterday what happened? Start to give it back. So what? Sell a little more, but keep a little too. Why? That's why. Wasn't done yet. Move the stop right up underneath this level, and then what happens today? Keeping the peace. Trade management. the entry wasn't what made this trade. Staying and having a little piece left. That's a key, a big key. Same with PNC. I did both. Both of these did the same thing. COF, nope, but looks great. COP, nothing in oil. Costco ended up turning around, making a little bit. Did anyone pull the trigger on that one? I did not. CPRT, we were waiting for that to stabilize, and it didn't. And while I was watching CPRT, I missed FAST. So you'll see that in a second. CrowdStrike overextended. I know Bob traded this one. Did anyone else catch DHI? That's one that I didn't like the hammer on the entry day. And then it, although he said that I think he took his profit yesterday, may have missed this last day, which is where it's like, don't be afraid to scale and leave one little piece on still, right? To see what happens. DIA, the Dow's holding up today. And there's Fastenal. Right? I was like, oh, I think I like the way that this is setting up better. I didn't like the entry candles that came through here. Gold, if you like gold, maybe setting up there. Google looked good yesterday. Today, I think it's still valid. Make it a continuation trade. Right? Put a initial stop under here, and then tomorrow, if it gives you the right candle, just get ready to start trailing. It looks like we're in this same situation that we were here. I like Google. We've been waiting for Google and Meta. I think Google looks better than Meta. I think Google looks valid. Give me your thoughts. Are you in? Are you not? Oh, I'm in Heiken Ashi. Let me switch back out. Just overextended. Same with Home Depot. Not much for us to do there. IBM. Come on, IBM. Move on back down to about 155. About 155 sounds good. That's where I want to catch you the next time. ICE. I didn't take that one. It did give a valid signal. It's just sort of easing up now. Intel. That's another one that I like. That's the chip for me right now. I think it's a leader. I think it can pull. If it stabilizes and turns. If it stabilizes and turns. Give me your thoughts. You guys like any of these that I'm talking about? It's gotten quiet in here. IWM up 1.5%. Small caps continuing to show, right? Maybe we do get 1/4 point for major market. JP Morgan overextended. KKR overextended. Meta. Like Google potentially setting up. As I said, I like Google a little better. Microsoft. Oof, Microsoft looks somewhat viable, kind of. I mean, it's a little bit of a red candle. Let's see what the Heiken Ashi look like on this. That's tempting. It's a weird day today, but if you think the signal's valid, it's there. Microsoft and Google. Okay. Oh, I really hate only having one monitor. I don't know how I could live with it. Netflix. Yeah, that one's a tough one right there. That is a tough one. I'm on some of these, I think I'd be more comfortable waiting for the continuation signal and possibly just saying, hey, the traditional signal was choppy. I'm going to wait for the continuation. I think that's what I would do on this one. Will do on this one. Okay. NVIDIA. Nope. It's in consolidation. I will not trade this no matter what. It's got a break. Steven says it sounds like they should have given me a monitor, right? I don't know what it is. It is the older of my two monitors. Just last night at work, today it didn't. What the hell, man? Unless my dog was nosing around under my desk, which is possible. My garbage is under there, but I don't think so. PDD, no. PLTR, just what a disappointment you were, PLTR. What a disappointment. We had such high hopes for you. PNC, yeah, still have a little piece on. It's not even half, but hey, I've got a little piece still on. Took some Friday, took some more yesterday on the pullback, and then have one more piece on. QQQ, can't quite tell what we want with that. RCL, I'll tell you what, we did miss, and this is on me. We talked about it. The airlines, we talked about them from retail, from travel and leisure, right? We didn't put them on. And they gave a signal this week. So we gotta maybe spend a little more time on Sunday. I gotta go faster on Sunday. I need you guys to remind me, be like, Scott, go faster so we have more search time. Anyways. Roku, iffy. I don't know. Shopify, same. SMCI, look at Snap. Man, that thing just went on a tear. Things like that are hard. If you're not an investor, as a trader, that's hard. How many traders do you think would still be in this if they got in back here? Right? How many traders would still be in now? Like, you would love to think, oh man, I'd still right? You might have gotten out of half of it right there on that pause. Been like, oh, it's overbought, it's paused. I've had 5 good days. I probably would have. A quarter to a third. I've been like, oh, I got 4 days. It's got a doji. Yeah. Then it gaps. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Would I have sold some on Friday? Maybe, because you can see it was Friday. The previous day we had touched the high. This day I probably would have. So then I would just hope that I've got that last third for this last little ride. That's it. That's the only way I think you can do it sustainably. Because if you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to ride these, how many times do you think you get this? Versus how many times do you get this, where you're like, it's going, and then it turns back down on you, and then it goes? Or, it goes, and then it only gets a little bit. Or, I mean, that's not the norm. That's the exception. If you're trading for the exception, then you're going to get battered on the norm. So we need to have a plan that works for the norm, but could also give us something on the exception. You're never going to just carry something all the way through. That's just not going to happen. Not the way that we trade. I don't think what you have to sacrifice, right? If that's your queen, by the time the game gets important, you've lost all your pawns. And so your queen's not going to last very long, right? We can't sacrifice everything to get this, or else we'll have nothing on the rest of the trades. That's just, seeing the big picture. SPY. Okay. Looks like that move did not sustain. Can't see anything here. Where am I? What, is my chart not updating here? What's going on? It's like I just lost real-time charts. Oh, there we go. I'm like, what the hell? There they are. Oh, I hate two monitors. So you can see it busted down, held. Oh, still now look, if it doesn't get back, I mean, it really should get back above this level. If it falls under here and it stabilizes and drops again, and you can see that, if you entered early in this candle, maybe as it crossed this line, 457. Not quite $1, but that was a pretty, and then you're out here, 70 cents. That's day trading. Yeah, I mean, you can see why I wouldn't like it, or I don't like it that much, because you just sit and stare and wait. Buyers are struggling. Buyers are struggling. All right. Lionel Ward. Okay. Did we get through the whole watch list? I don't think we did. Tesla. Welcome. Let's see. Let's see. Welcome, Lionel. I know there was a little bit of issues around the time. Glad you could make it. Don't forget, this is recorded. If you want to go back, I'll send the email, and you can watch what we covered earlier for our watch list. We're kind of reviewing here at the tail end. UBS, yeah, it's a choppy one. I love financials right now. Financials are strong, but they're definitely overextended. Same with industrials. You can see UMP, the industrials moved, but they're now a little bit overextended. We can't force our way into these trades late, that's for sure. VIX, just staying in a great place underneath 14, never even got close. So the VIX looks good. WMB, that's the one that I didn't take. I said, this is the horse if I'm going to ride anything in energy. I didn't. It moved anyways. Okay. If it gives me another higher low, I will give it a try on the next one. Walmart still looks like a dog. Never recovered coming out of its earnings, but it's giving us consolidation lines to think about for recovery. All right, let's do a quick synopsis of the sectors. We'll look at our trading plan and then call it. Materials pullback looks like could be setting up. Communication services is on a pullback, found support, looks like it's holding support. That's where Google is coming from. Energy looks mostly flat, so I'm not super into any energy or oil stocks right now. Financials looks great, but overextended and looking to finish taking profits and then wait for the next trade. Industrials, again, same kind of a thing, looking for the next trade. Technology looks like it's trying to figure out if it's going to have a setup now. Our defensive sectors, staples, are stable. That's what we want from them. We don't want them surging. We want stable. Same with utilities, stable. And then we have consumer discretionary. I would say, yeah, we probably on Sunday want to find maybe an airline or two. So for the most part, we look good, but I would say maybe consumer discretionary, maybe industrials, see if there's anything missing, maybe. I feel good about financials. I feel good about technology. We have some software, some chips. We have some leaders, maybe communication services. I don't know. I feel pretty good about our watch list right now. Do we need to concern ourselves with end of year profit taking? No. Not more than anything else, right? I mean, I would say from a cyclical standpoint, we actually tend to see, let me show you the picture one more time. Great question. From a cyclical standpoint, we tend to end the year with a bullish round of, and actually even a little bit more. A lot of funds have different fiscal years, and they actually are looking around the third quarter to do their alignment, which tends to cause, some of this September, October volatility that we see. Right. So there's nothing there that I'm too worried about. Okay. So lastly, what are we doing this week for our trading plan? Oh, maybe. Is it not going to show me? There we go. Record keeping. And you're thinking, Scott, that's a pretty easy section that just says trade log and trade journal. That's right, because you're not working in your log, or excuse me, in your plan this week. You're working in your log. If your record keeping game is not strong, this week and next week are the weeks that you strengthen them. We're working on record keeping. That's making sure you have this process down, right? This is your log. This is your journal. If there's anything interesting about a trade, come make a note of it. So log and journal are on this tab. If you look down here, there's a second tab that says dashboard. These are your analytics. We're talking about analytics next week. This is how you see where the rubber meets the road. The numbers do not lie. This is a numbers game. At the end of 100 trades, what do? Well, Steven just hit his. And I said, learn, right? I even asked if he would send to me some questions that say things like, what is your focus on the next 100 trades based on these 100 trades? What mistakes did you make in this grouping of 100 that you don't want to make next time? What improvements do you think you can make that you can add, right? So we're trying to have that Kaizen bridge, that constant improvement, where we're taking everything that we learned from the patterns. He said he will later this week. Yeah, I love it. I want to see it. I want everyone to send that. When you finish 100 trades, there's a lot of information you should come away from that with from here. All the observations, all the experience should be documented and should be evident in the patterns. Are your winners getting bigger? Are your losses getting smaller? Is your winning percentage staying stable or increasing? If there was a drop in anything, did you stop, evaluate, and understand why and have an explanation for it? We have the ability. Now, if you notice, as you're logging, this makes it easy. It will automatically tell you the date range. So that if you look at trades 26 through 50 and you're like, oh man, I got beat up a little bit on 26 through 50. Great. Scroll down, find the beginning date, find the ending date, and go analyze. Go look at what was the market doing during those dates. Go look at your market posture. How did you assess the market during the dates? Did you start there? Were you on point with the market, or were you seeing bullish and it was bearish, or vice versa? That means you need to reevaluate your market posture. Maybe you already have, right? We have to do our record keeping in a way that it's going to point us back to our trading to say, fix this specifically. We do not spaghetti approach how we fix. We have a scalpel. We are very focused. We are precise, surgical precision. We don't throw spaghetti at the wall and be like, hey, yeah, did anything stick? Let's trade that. Deliberate. So that's what you're working on this week, your record keeping. Get your log going. Go back. If you're like, oh, it'll take me forever to get to 100 trades, great. Get every trade from 2023 in there. See where it puts you. You might have more than 100 in there. You might get 100 and be like, ooh, here's what I should have learned, but I didn't from the first 100 trades of 2023. Then go forward with that information. It's there. You just got to data mine it. You got to collect it and process it. There's a shit ton of information, pardon my French, in our trading. Let's find it. Let's create a system and a structure and an organization that allows us to pull that information out. So we stop ever just losing money, but we constantly are paying for information. I don't like paying for information, but if I have to, I will. Okay, awesome. Great discussions today. Yeah, it's still a little choppy out there, but there is good trading. There was plenty of good trading in the financials and the industrials. We've been watching those. There's still opportunity in setups in tech, in communication services. So be watching for those. Don't forget that we've been hanging out on Thursday mornings, first hour of the day in Discord. So let's all hook up there tomorrow and say hello. If you haven't signed up, go to your emails. There's instructions in there. And let me know, and I'll keep sending the links out to get more people in there and participating. Tomorrow evening, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Options Foundations, Session 2. There are 3 intros, variations of intros that I tried not to overlap. So all 3 will help to build that basic option info that you're looking for. And then we're going to really dive into the pricing models and strategies as we go through options December. Thanks everybody again for your accommodation to push this back a little bit. Friday back at normal time, last 45 of the day. Next week back to normal times. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy trading.